All right, here we go. We are officially live here on YouTube. It's been a while since I've been live here, but if you're watching this at a later time, welcome to Wildcard Sports. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. In this video, I'm going to go over all the playoff games this weekend, the Wildcard weekend, and we got some really good games. It's going to be fun games to watch. We're going to start with the Browns-Texans when we get into it. There's a poll in the chat right now that you could vote who's going to win this game. I'm going to do a new poll for every game here. So feel free to vote. Who do you think is going to win, Browns or Texans? I'm going to break down every game. I'm going to give my prediction on each game. And I want to hear your guys' predictions too in the chat or the comments if you're watching this at a later time. So going into this game, the Browns are barely favored. They're favored by 2.5, so pretty much by a field goal. And man, CJ Stroud and the Texans are coming in hot, coming in with a lot of momentum. You could say that with the Browns too, especially with Flacco coming in here. I believe he's like 4-1 with the Browns, and he's playing really well. Will his veteran leadership and veteran, all the experience he has in the playoffs, will that help the Browns in the long run? Yes, it can, and the Browns' defense is pretty amazing. So CJ Stroud, I don't think has faced the Browns' defense here at full strength, and I don't even think he's faced them in general. So this is going to be a big test for Stroud. I love that Stroud is at home, so that's going to help him. He's going to feed off that crowd energy, so that will help CJ Stroud. I kind of want to my heart's on the Texans for this game. But my gut's telling me Browns could win it just off their defense. And Flacco, he pretty much just needs to be good enough. As long as Flacco's good enough, throws a couple touchdowns, and the defense can hold it down for the Browns, that's pretty much all that matters. And I think the Browns could get the road W. Obviously, this is an indoor stadium. They don't have no weather to worry about here. But I'm going to ride the momentum of rookie of the year, potential rookie of the year, CJ Stroud. And I'm going to go with the Texans on this one to get the upset win. Right now, it's at plus 122 for the money line. And also, it is, plus 2.5 for the spread. So if you think it's going to be like a 1-point game, 2-point game, go with the spread. It would be nice if you could get the spread at 3.5 for the Texans. But we're probably not going to get that. But I was seeing that the Browns are not very good on the road, so you got to look at that. Yes, when it comes to playoffs, everything goes out the window, but when it comes to the Browns playing on the road, it's not the greatest. There's a lot of other stats we could look at here, but like I said before, once we're in the playoffs, everything kind of is out the door here. The Browns beat up on the Texans on the road in Week 16, but we can't throw that game out the window because CJ Stroud was not active. So, yes, CJ Stroud has not faced the Browns, like I said. And then Joe Flacco, he's a veteran. He's coming in with the veteran experience, the playoff experience, against a rookie that has zero playoff experience, but he's going to come in there with nothing to lose. CJ Stroud has nothing to lose. Except a game, obviously, but come on, Stroud, all he has to do is put together a solid, I would say 2 to 3 touchdown game throwing wise. And if he throws 3 touchdowns and Texans defense is just good enough, I think Texans win this game. What's up, JT in the chat? What's up, man? It's been a while since I've done a live stream. Good to see you in there, man. Don't forget to vote. We got to vote for the Texans. And that's who I'm leaning towards, too, is the Texans. I like the upset here. I like the rookie. I like Stroud getting that W. But, yeah, as far as weather, we have nothing to worry about. Indoor stadium. And this is a Saturday game, so I'm not too worried. They got the total score at 43.5. I don't know. It's not going to be – I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, so sounds about right. But I do think Texans will win this. JT, you got the Texans 27-19. Okay, I like that. Yeah, I think Texans will win by at least 6 points, I would say. They are playing in Houston. It's a home game for the Texans because they won first place. But that's going to be my pick, Texans. JT's picking Texans. If you're watching this at a later time, feel free to post. I'm going to end this poll. Hopefully we get more viewers as we go. I'm going to start a new poll here for the next game. We're going to talk about Miami, Kansas City. That's going to be our next one here. So let me start a poll in the chat for that one. So Chiefs or Dolphins. So that's going to be our next poll here. Don't forget to like the video if you guys are just tuning in. Yeah, if Watson was playing in that Browns game, it would be cool, but it's going to be interesting to see Flacco, a veteran versus a rookie. All right, so moving on, guys. Dolphins, Chiefs. A great game. Tyreek Hill coming back to Kansas City playing against his old team. So if you want to make a bet or something, I would put some kind of a prop bet on Tyreek Hill. I feel like he's going to just go off against his old team to show him you shouldn't have traded me, you shouldn't have gotten rid of me. But I do like the Dolphins in this spot because Chiefs have been playing not good football as of late. Will that carry into the playoffs? Sure, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, they all have that playoff experience. They all know what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. Dolphins don't have that as much. They have some playoff experience. So do you go over experience over a better team? I don't know. I think Dolphins could pull up the upset. I can't believe the Chiefs are favored by 4. I would think it would be a little closer than that. So if I were to bet on the game, I would take Dolphins plus 4. But I wouldn't even mind taking a Dolphins upset to win the game. So JT, you said Dolphins. KC is interesting because we don't know what Chiefs offense will get. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I always want to believe in Holmes, or not Holmes. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I always want to believe in him, and I think they're gonna turn things around. I've been saying that all season, and they really haven't. Sure, they're getting wins here and there, but they're not against great teams. They're just not playing well. I know Patrick Mahomes will take it to another level, but will that new level beat the Dolphins? I don't know. Dolphins are a high caliber team. But if you look at years past, Dolphins are so recently, the past couple of years, Dolphins offense is very similar to the 49ers offense. And when the 49ers play the Chiefs, they get dominated by the Chiefs. Chiefs play the Niners well, even though we didn't play them this year, but they just play them well. So maybe the Chiefs can play well against the Dolphins' style of play. That could be a factor. But the Chiefs are going to get a taste of their own medicine here playing against their old teammate Tyreek Hill. So they're going to see how it is to stop Tyreek Hill. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue for the Chiefs. JT, you said you think Kansas City will win 29-26 in OT because they look Dolphins defense is injured. Yes, there are a lot of injuries on the defensive side for the Dolphins. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this. This is a big factor here for this game. This game is going to be freezing cold. As you can see here, the temperature right here, I'm highlighting it, 6 degrees. 6 degrees, but with a wind chill, so that can maybe take it to the negatives here. So it's going to be freezing cold, and when the Dolphins play in freezing cold weather, they do not play well. I saw a stat, Tua, when he plays games under 50 degrees, he's like 1-7. And then I saw another stat, when the Dolphins play in games under 36 degrees and under, the Dolphins have not won a game in the playoffs. So will that be a huge factor? I do think so. Dolphins are so used to playing in great weather, 70, 80 degree weather. So they're going to go in freezing cold temperatures. Chiefs are more used to it. Dolphins aren't. So that will be a huge factor that you got to take into account if the The Dolphins playing in the cold, I don't think it's going to be as easy as it seems, and it's going to be a lot tougher on the Dolphins to get a W there on the road and in the cold. So I'm just going to take a bet, or I'm going to take another upset here. I've already taken the Texans. I'm going to take the Dolphins for an upset. I would definitely bet the spread on the Dolphins, +4 on that one. So I like that one a lot. But those are big. Like if you look, the pros are betting on this one. One person's betting Miami spread. A couple people betting Kansas City money line. A couple people betting the under. It probably will be a lower scoring game because it's so cold. I could see that happening. But yeah, look at the Chiefs' injuries right here. Oh wait, these are not updated because it says Patrick Mahomes will be out, but this is from week 18, so don't pay attention to that. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Cold is going to be a huge factor in this game. If you're just tuning in, don't forget to vote. Who will win? We already got a Chiefs vote, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this one. I like the Dolphins, and especially Dolphins +4. All right, we're going to move on to the next game here. I'm going to end the poll. So if you're watching this at a later time, just comment. Let's see. Our next game we want to talk about is Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. Let me start the poll here. Who wins? We'll do Steelers or the Bills. I mean, this one should be an easy one for us. Who has the most momentum going into the playoffs right now? It's the Buffalo Bills. Who's playing the best? The Bills. Sure, the Steelers got a nice win at the end of the season there, but they played against the Ravens that were not playing any of their starters for the most part. So this one's an easy one. Got to go Bills. They are favored by 10 now. It opened up at 9.5, so yeah, it changed a little bit. TJ Watt is not playing. He's officially out, so that's a huge loss for the Steelers. Also, weather in this game, look how windy it is. Right here, I'm highlighting it. 18 degrees right there in the middle there. 18 degrees, 29 degrees Fahrenheit, so another freezing cold game. Both teams are used to this, obviously, especially the Buffalo Bills are used to this kind of weather. But I just don't see the Steelers getting an upset here on the road in Buffalo. Those fans, they don't care how cold it is. They don't care if it's snowing. They're going to be loud. They're going to be there. Definitely not going to be a lot of field goals in this game, I would think, with 18-mile-an-hour winds and that wind chill. It's going to be pretty cold. They have this a pretty low-scoring game because it is going to be cold. And then I don't see Rudolph for the Steelers putting up that many points. JT, you said you got an upset. You said Pittsburgh Steelers win 19-10. That is hard to see. I don't know if that's going to happen, but hey, I like the prediction. In that case, I would bet Steelers +10 if you think they're going to keep it close or win. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Josh Allen will throw an interception like he usually does or get a turnover, but I don't see the Steelers stopping him fully. I saw that Josh Allen set a record for the most 300-yard games and 50-plus rushing yards. So Allen is just dominating in a lot of ways, but, he's not an MVP caliber, at least this year. But yeah, I got to go Bills on this. Will they cover the spread? I could definitely see them covering the spread. So I'm going to stay away from betting this game. Maybe I'll put the Bills in like a parlay, of course, a Bills money line in the parlay, but can't see them losing this at all. But if you guys are just tuning in right now, don't forget to vote. I started a poll in the chat, and right now it's 50-50. We got one on the Steelers, one on the Bills. So feel free to break that tie. I can't vote on my own poll here. But yeah, TJ Watt out for the Steelers. Huge loss there. The pros right now, if you look at what the pros are betting, 3 of them betting on the spread, so all of them on the spread, and then 1 bet on the over. Do they got any? No prop bets yet, but yeah, those that's where the pros are leaning on that one. Like I said before, I don't see an upset here. If you're just tuning in, I have an upset for the Texans to beat the Browns, and then the Dolphins to upset the Chiefs. Yeah, TJ Watt got injured last game. Yep, against the Ravens. If anyone watched that game last week against the Ravens, it was pouring rain pretty much the whole game, and it was just a sloppy game. So it was messy, but yeah, he got injured in that one. All right, we're going to move on. This was kind of an easier game to pick here. We're going to move on to a different game. This one is going to be great. Packers, Cowboys. And let me just, we'll get more into that. Let me end the poll here. I'm going to start a new poll in the chat for this game. So who wins? Packers or Cowboys? All right, just started a new poll here. So you guys know me. I'm a huge Cowboy hater. But I also don't like the Packers, but I don't like the Cowboys more. I'm going to be rooting for the Packers in this game. Full on. I can't wait for the Packers to give the Cowboys some trouble. I do think the Packers will give the Cowboys trouble early. It's just hard for me to see the Cowboys actually losing this game outright because they're playing at home. When the Cowboys play at home, they tend to play really well. And the Packers are a good team, but they're not great. So I don't think the Packers could beat them. And yes, I know in history, Packers have beaten the Cowboys a lot, especially in Dallas, but that's because of Aaron Rodgers. He's not there. We got Jordan Love, but maybe Jordan Love will keep it going. Will carry on the torch and beat the Cowboys and be a thorn in the Cowboys' side. So, I don't know. I would love for Jordan Love to win this game. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see it happening. Don't forget to vote, guys. Who do you guys think will win? Packers, Cowboys in the chat. So Cowboys are favored by 7.5, so pretty much by a touchdown or 8 points. They have it a pretty high scoring game, 50.5 points. As you know, Cowboys put up a lot of points. They put up, at least 30 plus usually, especially at home. I could see them doing that again today, or not today, but for this game. My prediction on this game would be Cowboys 33, Packers 17 or something. I think it could be a blowout. I think they could cover the spread. But don't get me wrong, I would love to see the Cowboys lose this one. I just don't see them losing this one. But I'll be the Packers' #1 fan for this game. JT, so JT in the chat, you say Packers will you say the Packers will beat the Cowboys. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Don't get me wrong. Any key injuries does anyone know about? I know Gilmore got injured. His shoulder popped out, but I think he's going to be good to go for the game. If you look at what the experts are betting on this game, all of them so far are betting the Green Bay spread. So that's not a bad bet. Keep it within 7.5. Someone else is betting on the over, so it's not a bad one either. JT, you think the Packers' run game will be key? Oh yeah, if they could establish the run. But that's going to be tough against the Cowboys D line there. I don't think there's any other big injuries because all these injury reports are from last game, so it's not a big thing. I don't even see Gilmore on there, but those are old. Yeah, so I don't know. This is one of those games I'm most interested this whole weekend because if the Cowboys do lose, man, oh man, Cowboys will not hear the end of it. They will be like they'll be the yearly chokers in the playoffs, and if they choke against the Packers, that's pretty sad. And then McCarthy, if he loses this game, his job is for sure on the line. People will question Dak. If Dak has a bad game in this, I see Dak throwing at least one pick, but I don't see him having a horrible game. He's probably gonna, go off in this game and prove the haters wrong or whatever. But then we'll see what happens the next week. Anyone else just coming in here? We have a poll in the chat. Don't forget to vote who you think will win, or just feel free to comment in the chat who do you think is going to win this game. But besides that, there's not a lot of storyline here besides, Jordan Love coming in against a veteran Dak Prescott. And this is Jordan Love's playoff debut, so you got to look at that. So pretty much Packers really have nothing to lose. Packers weren't even really favored to make the playoffs, so they've already had an amazing season, even if they lose this game. I didn't expect the Packers to make the playoffs. Dallas is 8-0 at home this year, so their home record is really good. Cowboys number 1 in the NFL with 29.9 points per game. So yeah. JT, you said you're most excited for the Bucks and the Eagles. Yeah, we'll talk about that one. I can't wait for Rams Detroit too. All right, moving on, guys, to the next game. But my prediction, Cowboys are going to win this game, but go Packers. That's what I'm going to say on that one. All right, moving on. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Rams-Lions. Sunday night football. Jared Goff versus Matthew Stafford. I mean, this one's going to be great. Stafford coming back home to Detroit. I guess the Detroit fans aren't allowed to wear Stafford jerseys in the stadium. I saw a thing. I didn't know if that's true, but I think it is. Like the fans are not allowed to wear a number 9 Stafford jersey in the stadium. I guess maybe if you're wearing a Rams Stafford jersey, that's okay, but that is really weird. I've never heard of that before. A ban on what jersey you're allowed to wear. But if you look at the spread of this game, Lions are favored by 3. I'm going to be cheering for the Lions. I mean, I don't know, because the Niners could face the Lions or the Rams next round. We would have a better chance of facing the Rams if the Rams won, because we play like the lowest seed. So that could be the Rams. But I'm going to be cheering for the Lions. I think they could definitely beat the Rams. Sure, the Rams have surprised a lot of people, including myself. Never thought they would even make the playoffs. They didn't have a good defense at all. I think they were ranked like almost last in defense going into the season, but they played well. Got to give it up to Sean McVay. Great coaching. And then, Puka Nacua, he is playing amazing that we never expected. So big ups to the Rams. I don't think they're going to win. I do think it will be a close game, though. So maybe betting the Rams spread. Maybe if it was plus 3.5. Let me put a poll in the chat. Who will win? Who wins? Lions or Rams? All right, there's the poll in the chat. I see more people coming in here. Appreciate you guys watching, hanging out. So obviously indoor stadium, no weather to worry about here. As far as like big injuries go, nothing crazy that will change. This line is pretty close. The biggest storyline here, Stafford versus Goff. I don't know. It's just like pretty much at the end of the day, who wants it more? Who wants to prove more that they were worth being on their new teams? I mean, Goff got traded. It wasn't his fault. He expected to stay with the Rams. It was bound to happen for Stafford to eventually get traded because he couldn't really do anything with the Lions. Sure, he would bring them to the playoffs and stuff, but he just couldn't get the Lions over the hump. Then he goes and wins the Super Bowl with the Rams, Stafford. So I don't know. I think Goff has more to prove because Goff still doesn't have a Super Bowl win. He's been to the Super Bowl, but he doesn't have a win. So it starts here to get through the Rams. And it's going to be a little tough for the Lions and Goff. JT, you got the Rams 20-17. So, JT, you picked all upsets. So every game you're picking an upset. That's tough. But there are bound to be upsets for this weekend. What are the pros betting? The pros right now, a lot of people leaning LA. Wow. 6 people betting the LA spread at +3. One person betting the over, and then another person betting the money line. Oh, that's tough. But it's one of those things like, if the Rams win, would you be shocked? Probably not. But Detroit's been coming into these playoffs looking dominant. Dan Campbell's looking, he's gotten his players playing great, playing tough. So it's hard for me to see the Lions choking in the playoffs here, first game at home. But the Lions did choke on Thanksgiving Day at home. We all thought the Lions would win that. I think it was against the Packers. So I don't know. That would be pretty sad if the Lions choke here. So we got a vote for the Rams in the poll there. Don't forget to vote if you're just tuning in. But yeah, my prediction is going to be Lions to win this one. I'm going to say the score will be 27. 27-21, I guess. About a 6-point spread. So I would say Lions cover the spread, win the game. They do have this one pretty high scoring, though. So I don't know. But I think the defenses will step up here. But who will throw more interceptions, Goff or Stafford? Who will have a better game, Goff or Stafford? That's the tough part. Obviously, I would say Goff has better receivers, but hey, give it up to Nakua and, you still have Cooper Kupp in there. Well, that's going to be my prediction on that. Moving on to the next game here. It's going to be, our last game to talk about, Philadelphia versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. And let me end the poll here, and then I'll start a new poll in the chat. So if you guys want to vote on that one, feel free to vote. Who wins? Eagles or Bucks? So there's a poll in the chat. Right now, the Eagles are favored in this game. As bad as the Eagles have been playing, the Eagles are still favored. They freaking lost against the Giants. The New York Giants. I know it's a division game, so that always makes it tougher, but the Eagles lost again to the Giants. They could have secured first place by beating a bad team, but they lost. Buccaneers going into this, they won first place in their division. It was very sloppy, but they still did it. They get the home game. I mean, if the Eagles have been playing like the Eagles have been playing earlier in the season, I would be like, this is a no-brainer. Eagles are going to win this easily. But, man, they've been playing so bad, and the Bucs are just playing good enough. The Bucs aren't playing great by any means. You can never trust Baker Mayfield. I don't know if he's going to come through. It's one of those things. He could either have a great game, throw 3 to 4 touchdowns, or Baker could have one of his worst games. He'll throw like 2 to 3 picks. You just don't know what you're going to get from Baker. But I feel like it's one of these years. He has a lot to prove. Will he step up in this game? I don't know. It's like he could do it against the Eagles. Their Eagles defense is really not that good. They're old. I feel like they've been exposed. Teams are figuring out the Eagles defense. They're figuring out the Eagles offense. So I don't see a way that well, I don't know. This is tough because I would probably bet the spread here, Bucks +3 in this one. I don't know if I would choose a money line because it's almost like a coin flip for me in this game. If you want to just go based off the home team feeding off that home energy, I guess go with the Bucks, but I don't even think the Bucks are going to be that dominant for this game. The Eagles got to wake up. If the Eagles don't wake up, if they lose first round in the playoffs here, it's going to be the biggest disappointment for the Eagles this season. They were expected to probably make another Super Bowl this year, and they are just lowering expectations game after game. It's great weather. We got a 15% chance of rain, so we got to take that into account. We could get rain. It is Florida. You just never know. It could rain like every other quarter for all we know. So we'll see. Eagles defense is trash. You said A.J. Brown is out for the game. Okay, that could be big. But Jalen Hurts needs to step up, man. Like, if he loses this game, people aren't going to take Jalen Hurts serious anymore. That's going to be there's definitely more pressure on this game on the Eagles than it is the Bucks. I feel like there's no pressure at all on the Bucks. They won the division, didn't expect that, but their division was pretty bad overall, so it's like the Saints could have won it, Bucks could have won it, Falcons could have won it. But all the pressure's on the Eagles on this one. All the pressure. So Bucks got kind of nothing to lose besides the game, obviously, but all pressure on Eagles. They could choke here in this spot, so keep an eye on that. Eagles won last game versus Bucks this year. All right, so, I mean, that could, like I said before, once playoff starts, everything's out the door. Anything could happen, so it's just one of those things. It's a coin flip for me. I would probably bet the Bucks spread. Let's see what the pros are betting on this game. Philadelphia's okay, so it's pretty split. Someone's betting the spread on the Eagles, one on the Bucks. A lot of people are betting the under for this game, so they think it's going to be a low-scoring game. And then we got someone betting Tampa Bay money line. But yeah, if it rains, it could be a lower scoring game and turnovers. But my prediction on this game, I'm going to go with the Bucks +3 if I had to bet the spread. This one's tough. I want to say Eagles are going to win it, but man, I really can't trust the Eagles. But Jalen Hurts really needs to wake up and carry this team on his back. And I think he's capable of doing that. So I'm just going to go Eagles to win by, I don't know, 2 to 3 points here. Probably 25-23, some weird score like that. That's going to be my prediction. Don't forget to vote. We already got a vote on the Bucks. If you're watching this video at a later time, don't forget to comment, to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You saw those were my predictions. We'll do a quick recap here. I got, from what I remember, I got the Texans, Dolphins. Let me look back here. Got the Texans, Dolphins, Bills, Cowboys, even though I really want the Packers to win. And then I got Detroit Lions. And then I got the Eagles winning it, but wouldn't be surprised if it's the Bucks. So those are my picks. Let me know your guys' picks in the chat, all that good stuff. I'm going to end the live stream here. We're going to do more watch parties for like NBA once the NFL season is over, because I'm putting all my focus here on the NFL because, you know, my 49ers in the playoffs, all my focus is on NFL football right now. And then we're going to be switching to basketball once the NFL season's over, and then into baseball and basketball, and then back into the NFL. So that's why there's less watch parties, because, I don't really do watch parties for football, but we'll do watch parties for NBA and all that good stuff. But yeah, JT, appreciate you jumping on. Everyone else watching, appreciate you guys watching. See, there was 12 of you at some point, but there will be more live streams in the future, and I'll be posting more on TikTok and on Instagram, so stay tuned for all that stuff. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Wildcard weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next video, and hopefully your team wins.